we are gonna plate and see what this tastes like right ahead. Nope, that's not what we're gonna say, Jerry. What, right ahead? What was that? Tell me about this. Okay. We are back in the kitchen. Welcome to I Cook, You Measure. I'm your host, Jen Mueller. Joining me today, a guest measurer who has spent more time in a clubhouse than I have, because Eric Young Jr. has 10 years of big league experience, 15 of professional baseball, and 30, you said, in clubhouses altogether?
Yes, a little bit over 30.
So what's your comfort level being in the kitchen right now?
Well, a little nervous right now, but we'll make it manage.
You're a professional athlete. This cannot be nerve-wracking compared to what you actually do.
I guess it all depends on how the food comes out.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, here's the good news. They can't taste it at home. And so if we just tell them it tastes great, nobody's gonna know the difference, right? We can play it off, right?
Yes, we can play it off.
Yes, it is acting skills, maybe, that we need. I don't think that that's actually gonna be the case. This is gonna be a really quick meal that comes together. I don't know, when you get home, I bet late at night you're probably not cooking, but on an off day, you probably want something that's quick and easy and full of flavor, right?
Definitely, want to try at least.
So this is what we are going to make today. This recipe comes from Safeway, and it is Korean style beef with cucumbers. We're gonna put that over rice, and we're just gonna use some ground beef, season that up, and give a little treatment to the cucumbers.
Okay.
What do you think?
Let's try.
Now, you have watched this show before, EY, so you know that if we're gonna cook, we're also gonna pair with wine. Today, we have chosen a Sauv Blanc. So this is gonna be spicy, and our Sauv Blanc is gonna be like crisp and a little lemongrass, and it's gonna work well with those flavors to maybe tame down the heat that we're gonna get from here. It'll be crisp in the glass.
Oh, always looking to pair good wine with the food.
Well, there you go. You get the easiest job of them all. Could you pour us just a little bit?
Yeah, I could do that.
Of course, you could do that because I know, you just make it look so easy. It's a screw top.
Right?
You don't even have the struggle of a cork, which also makes this a dangerous bottle to have around the house on a hot day when it's just too easy to go into the fridge and unscrew the cap.
All right, well, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Ooh.
Very good.
Okay. The trickiest part of this whole day might be using a mandolin. How do we feel about that?
It's gonna be my first time, but
Okay.
I'm gonna take your lead on it.
Okay, well, this is the first time using this particular one. Kids, you might remember from previous episodes, we've used a handheld one. This, brand new from my parents at Christmas time. Now, safety first, that is a really sharp blade. We don't want to get anywhere close to that blade with our fingers, which is why you can use a glove like this, and while it looks like it is just like a normal, like mitten, it's not. This is a cut-resistant, knife-resistant glove.
Okay.
So you're gonna use this, and we are going to get our cucumber. This looks ridiculous, doesn't it, Jerry? I'm gonna have you do this. What we're looking for here is really thinly sliced cucumbers.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you take that.
All right.
I'm already eating.
All right.
I've started some ground beef over here. We're just gonna get that going part way. Now you wanna move your hand up a little bit, even with that glove.
Uh-huh.
Perfect, okay. I would toss the rest of that in the sink.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Before we put that in the bowl, I'm gonna have you mix just a couple of items. If you could put 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar and 2 teaspoons of honey in that bowl for me, please.
2 tablespoons of the rice vinegar.
Yeah.
All right.
Now if you do 2 teaspoons of honey.
Let's close this first.
Oh, clean as you go. It's very important.
Now, 2 teaspoons of the honey.
Yep. And again,
now,
if you go a little over, that's quite all right. If you were in the kitchen what would you typically be making in season as a meal?
Probably a pasta with a meat sauce marinara and typically spaghetti.
Okay. Do you ever venture to like different flavor palettes?
Me personally, if I'm hungry, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with what I know, but always open to learn and try new things.
Okay, so I'd put that off to the side. And here's what I would do. These are just little tongs. You can whisk it together if you wanted to.
All right.
I would kind of give that a little bit of a stir to incorporate it. Then we're gonna add some red pepper flakes to that. Probably about a 1/4 teaspoon, which you can either eyeball or you can use that. And this is all personal preference. So if you like it a little spicier, you can totally kick that up. Okay, now if you would put the cucumbers in there, and we're gonna toss all of this together. And you can just use your hands. I trust you. We washed our hands before the episodes. So you have been in big league clubhouses your entire life because your dad was a big league player. Did you ever have a choice as to what you were going to become in your career if you grew up around the game?
Actually, I played baseball, football, and basketball in high school, and had a football scholarship to Villanova. So a lot of people thought I was gonna go the football route. And then I got drafted for baseball and decided to go that route.
What position did you play in football?
Defensive back.
That makes sense, because you were an ultimate speedster.
Yep, and can cover whoever the fastest guy on the other team was, so.
Was there ever a temptation to be a wide receiver and just tear down the field?
I played the other side of the ball as well, but
your scholarship was to be a DB.
Defensive back, yes.
Did people think you were gonna go that route? I mean, obviously, if you get a scholarship to go play football, you're really good at that. But was the thinking that you were going to play football so you could avoid any comparisons to your dad as a baseball player?
Actually, more of a comparison because he went to college and played football and baseball. So I was getting ready to do the same thing, to go play both sports in college. And then I just, longevity and love of the game also made it easier to choose baseball. These are thinly sliced, by the way.
They're gonna be great. If you wanna use the tongs and give them a little toss, and then we're gonna set that aside. What we really want here, it is gonna be almost like quick pickling those cucumbers because of the vinegar and then the sugar in there. So we wanna give all of that a toss so that it touches kind of every cucumber. You don't have a lot of liquid in there. It's okay, it's not meant to be a salad dressing. It's just meant to give it some extra flavor on that, so.
Plus I went a little extra on the vinegar.
That's right, you did. Which is perfect for exactly what we need in these cucumbers. I think you're gonna be so impressed with how easy this comes together.
I hope so.
You are going to expand your flavor palette here.
There we go.
Okay, I feel like that looks pretty good. Meanwhile, our ground beef is browning pretty nicely over here, so let's get the sauce together that we are gonna put for that. But you know what? I feel like this is a good time to have a quick break in the action. We're gonna regroup in the kitchen and be back in a minute.
When you shop in the Albertsons app, you can count on us to choose fresh produce, guaranteed. Even if you can't count on Mom to eat her veggies.
Eric Young Jr., the Mariners' first base coach, EY as we call him, is joining us in the kitchen today. We are making a Korean-style beef rice bowl with spicy cucumbers. The cucumbers are off to the side. Let's make the sauce that we're gonna put into our browning ground beef.
Okay.
What we need here is 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of honey. Is there a dish that your mom or your grandma made? Now, wait a minute.
What you got?
Well, I need 2 tablespoons. That spoon is 2 tablespoons.
Yeah.
I feel like you shorted me.
No, I'm not finished yet. You was asking a question. I wanted to make sure I was attentive for the question.
Okay, 1 more of those. I don't want to break your concentration.
Yeah,
I would like it all the way to the top of the measuring
Oh,
spoon.
okay.
I mean,
Well, man, I could have been playing for the balance with that vinegar earlier,
It's true. It's true. 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. You don't need a lot of toasted sesame oil. It packs a big punch,
Okay.
and that is gonna last for a while. Okay, so all the way up to the top on this, because we do want that entire teaspoon.
Yeah.
We have about 1.5 pounds of ground beef over
Yeah,
here,
gotta
so we
make it
need
about-
some
yep.
Yeah, we need some good seasoning. There we go.
All right.
Awesome. And then 2 teaspoons of honey. And it should be really easy because that oil just coated the teaspoon, and so the honey should just run right on out now.
Hopefully.
No sticking. Oh, it's like art. Look at that, one more of those, one more of those.
2, you just say 2.
Bam. Okay, so we're gonna give that just a little bit of a whisk, and then we're gonna add some garlic and ginger. So I've got about 3 garlic cloves in here. I have already taken the skin off and given them a little mashing. So if you would chop that as small as you feel comfortable chopping that.
Okay.
And we're gonna add that right into our sauce right there, which you can already start to smell those flavors coming together, right? So it was 2013, you were the National League Stolen Base champion. I've got a couple of questions around this.
Okay.
Number 1, was it always a goal of yours? Because your dad also was a stolen base champion, right? So was that always on your radar?
Not always necessarily on my radar. It wasn't until, the season was kind of progressing and, I saw where I was standing and, where the leader was at the time and was like, can I catch up to him? And one of my teammates, LaTroy Hawkins, actually told me probably in about August, he was like, I want you to go for it. And then that's when I kind of made up my mind that I was like, okay, let's try for it.
Did it come down to the final day of the season? When was it locked up?
Yeah, no, the last day of the season. It was Gene Segura was in second place. Actually, we were tied going into the last week of the season, and it just so happened that we played the Brewers at the time for our last series. And so he and I went into the last day tied at 44. And so then that day, I got on my first at bat, stole second, and just for safe measures, stole third to try to make, just in case he happened to get one that day, just to lock it up.
If you would add this to our Pyrex dish.
Okay. Slide it over a little bit. Don't want to spill anything.
Well, and if you do, it's not really big. And then I'm gonna help on the other side of that knife. I'm just gonna do this.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, before we continue the conversation.
Okay.
This is fresh ginger. It is in fact a root, and when you get it at the store, sometimes those pieces could be this big. Fun fact, kids, you don't have to buy the entire piece. You in fact can break off what you need. You also tend to measure ginger by inches. So in a recipe, it will say 1 inch of ginger or 2 inches of ginger, because in general, this is about the size of a normal ginger root if you're using fresh ginger. Now, since you have not worked with this before, there's a couple of different ways that you can take the skin off the ginger, because we don't really want this part on. You can either take a small paring knife, or you can take a spoon, and it will work like a vegetable peeler. And you can see that that skin isn't very thick, so you don't need to go very deep, and you can already smell the ginger.
I can.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have you do that. I'm gonna keep this on to give you something to hold on to. We're gonna get like this part of it, okay? So I'm gonna have you work on taking that off. And then we're gonna chop that up pretty finely. Was it easier or harder to steal bases in your day compared to now?
It's a little different. I say back in my day, you can pick off 12 times.
Yeah, that's true.
Which somebody tried to pick me off 12 times.
12 times?
Yep,
What was the end result, and who was it?
Cliff Lee for the Phillies.
Oh.
And I actually ended up stealing second base. So,
Well, because, okay, so let's go back, and now you can only throw over twice, so that's a huge difference.
yeah. But everybody's throwing harder these days, so.
So you've got less reaction
yes,
time.
Yes, exactly. Not as much
And
time
they're
to
quicker
reaction.
they're quicker to the plate.
The ball's getting there quicker, and the catchers are still just as good, if not better. And so there's different variables that play. So I wouldn't say one era was better than the other. It's just different.
So in the 12 throws that were made to first base before you steal, do you enjoy the cat and mouse game?
I love it. Still do. Even as a coach, and hopefully bring that same joy to the players now, being involved in the cat and mouse game.
Is it easier to stay focused during like that kind of, when you're getting that kind of attention from the pitcher? Is it easier to stay focused, or do you start to like slip and either get fatigued or, that's mentally hard if they're gonna throw over that many times?
You can get tired, but I think that's also what goes into it. That's also what the pitcher's trying to do, just to tire me out a little bit, and hopefully then I choose not to run. So I still had enough energy to still after that.
I was gonna say, that's a lot of back and forth on that. Goodness gracious. How about if we give that as much of a dice and a chop as you feel comfortable? Okay. Now keep in mind, that's gonna be really strong when we put it in there, so smaller is definitely better. I don't know if you ever had like fresh ginger after sushi?
Yes.
So that's what that's gonna taste like.
Yep.
So, who's the player that you ended up learning the most from during your career? Or maybe like top 3 players you learned the most from?
I would say I always talk with a lot of pitchers and pick their brains, and obviously it helped with. So LaTroy Hawkins was a big one. And then obviously my dad helped me a bunch. Troy Tulowitzki with Colorado. That was a good one. And then big one, Michael Kadire.
Ah, Twins.
We were teammates actually on Colorado Rockies and New York Mets.
Ah, but he did play for the Twins, did he not?
He did.
No.
Before,
okay.
yes. No,
I'm
before,
like, wait a
yes,
minute.
He did. You are correct. You are correct.
Okay, here, I'm gonna keep going and dice this a little bit. So obviously you learned a lot from your dad. Once you got into the pros, did you guys talk baseball a lot? Or was it more of just, hey, I'm gonna be dad, you do whatever you wanna do, but I don't wanna be in your face about baseball all the time?
Combo of both. I wouldn't say he was in my face, but just natural conversations would be about baseball. Even watching a game, I would guess I would watch a game and study at the same time. So I wouldn't say I ever just really watched the game. I would always be picking something apart during the game.
I loved watching him play. Gosh, that's fun. Okay, we've got some scallions. So the thing about a scallion is it's part of an onion, or it is an onion, right? It's in the onion family. This part has the flavor. This is more for decoration. We're gonna use both parts of this.
Okay.
We're gonna do kind of the same thing. If you would take the roots off of those, give me pretty small kind of dice or chop, up to about here. And we're gonna add that into our ground beef. This is almost done, guys. Like seriously, that's how easy this is. Turning just 1.5 pounds of ground beef into something that is a flavor sensation. It's only gonna take a couple minutes once we add our sauce. So why don't we take a break and we'll be right back.
Hey there, it's me. Food. Whenever you need me. I'm ready for you. Especially when you're busy. And you're always busy.
So awesome.
But no matter what, we find time for this. So go ahead and enjoy the moment. Because there's plenty to go around. Keep it easy, my friends. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Okay, we are ready to add our sauce. I'm just gonna give that a quick little whisk.
All right.
We're gonna put it right in here. Now the beef is pretty much cooked through, but what we want is for it to get the flavors incorporated. So we're gonna keep it on medium. And this, you should be able to smell it. You should be able to smell the ginger, the garlic, the scallions are in there. I hope you like leftovers because this is going to the ballpark with you.
That's fine.
That'll work?
It will be.
That will work. Okay, I'm gonna kick that up just a little bit. And I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
Because it is time for Virtual Master Chef. And it does not have pasta in it, so I don't know what's gonna happen with this, folks, because that's kind of where your wheelhouse is.
It is.
However, this is what we're gonna go with. You ready? 5 ingredients. Tell me what you would make with these. We're gonna put it all in the same dish, okay?
Okay.
Cauliflower, onion, hoisin sauce, ground turkey, and egg.
No pasta though.
No pasta.
I would throw all that on the top of some kind of pasta.
Okay. Have you ever cooked with hoisin sauce before? Do you know what that is?
Yes, not with, but I used
Okay.
it at the end.
Okay. So you've got that flavor profile
Yes, I
there.
do.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, that's an Asian dish. Probably, fried rice.
To make the cauliflower fried rice?
I mean, you could throw it in there. It just makes it healthier.
Interesting. So I was gonna do this as either a burger or a meatloaf.
There you go.
There we
I'm
go.
okay with
That's
that.
a good, that's a
Yeah.
good. Was there a meal growing up that just reminds you of home?
Yes, but everybody's gonna laugh at me. Chicken wings and fries.
Why would you laugh? I love chicken wings and fries.
Most know me as somewhat of a healthy eater, but that particular thing is not.
I mean,
But-
we
but
all
I'm
have to
still
have
gonna
our
enjoy them. I'm
things
still
and our
gonna enjoy them.
indulgences. So why does that remind you of home?
That was my, I guess you say, happy meal. If I was down or sad about anything, my mom would make fried chicken wings and fries, and mood will instantly change.
I love that that's the meal that makes you happy.
Yeah.
To this day?
Yep.
Still the one?
Still the one.
Is that the one that you would celebrate with?
Yep.
Huh. I like it. You know what, folks? We are ready to eat. This is sizzling pretty good. I'm actually gonna turn this off. We are gonna plate this and eat next.
Outfits for Jen on I Cook You Measure are provided by Lululemon and their experiential store in Seattle's University Village. One of just 4 Lululemon stores in the country with a fitness and event studio hosting weekly classes and community events. Visit the U Village store and get connected.
Okay, we have reached the moment of truth. EY thinks we might need to act our way through this. Like, he's a little uncertain as to how this turns out. I have no doubts because this Korean beef bowl looks amazing and there's so many different flavors in here. From the cucumbers to the ginger and the garlic, and then we put a little bit of that chili garlic sauce on the top. I just tried a little and boy, it's hitting the back of my throat. So I'm gonna try to get the best bite here. One whole bite.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay. Yes.
I can see myself trying this again.
Oh, I love that. Those cucumbers are done so well. Ah, great job.
Okay, I was a little nervous about, the red pepper flakes, and it's not bad.
It's now wait a minute.
I didn't want it to
I
be too
said-
spicy. I didn't want it to be too spicy, but
You're saying the spice level
spice
isn't
level,
bad.
spice level. No, the dish is delicious, but
Okay.
the spice level,
checking
yeah.
that one. Okay. Well, also, if you tried it with a sip of your wine, that wine would cut through the spice just a little bit. That's what we were looking for with a white.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah.
I like it.
Very good.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
This will wrap up another awesome meal and great conversation. We so enjoy doing that together with friends, but we know that it's not possible for everybody in our community, which is why for every episode of I Cook You Measure, a donation is made to a nonprofit working to end food insecurity. We thank you for watching so that we can continue that work, and we thank you for joining us for another fun episode.
I appreciate you having me.
We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Ooh.
You had a little bit more
Roll
spice than me. Yep.
I Cook You Measure is presented by Safeway, who welcomes everyone at the table through the Nourishing Neighbors program. You can donate in stores or by visiting nourishingneighbors.com.